Welcome everyone, this is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about the aspect of finding out that negative can be positive. And I understand you might be saying, how can someone or something be negative and it be positive? Because you have already said, Michael, that negativity and positivity cannot reside in the same place at the same time. And that is true. However, you can do something that's negative and have a different intention. I'm going to be explaining that today because I have a blog that came out yesterday, The Positive Side of Negativity. You can find it at ravenconcepts.com/blogs, or the link is in the description box below. You can easily follow along. If you're driving, stay tuned because you can just, again, listen to what's going on. But this is going to be a good read for anyone who's trying to understand, well, what is positive to the negativity? Because we can look at certain coaches like David Goggins. He yells at people. He puts people through a lot of suck. That suck can be negative, right? Our brain is telling us, hey, stop. What are you doing? Like, this is difficult. We need to get in a mindset that the hard things or the bad things in life, it might not be all bad. That adversity, the adversity that we talked about it, people, the adversity can be something that helps us. However, sometimes that adversity can be too much for us to handle, especially if we're not equipped. And we're going to be talking about all that. But before we do that, let's take a look at my most recent blog. All right, everyone. If you're new to the podcast, new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to share the video and or audio to help build a community of people who are trying to get into a better lifestyle, a better mindset, because we want people to understand that they are powerful in a way that it doesn't matter if you have a bad moment or a good moment. You know that you can get out of it. Because sometimes in life, if we get a negativity, if we get something that is not what we want, something that enacts an emotional response from us, guess what? We might curse them. We might say, F you or blah, blah, blah. We will spill hate and we will say all of these negative, bad things about a person. However, we need to understand something. That negativity that they give us, we can use. It's Hapkido. Hapkido is a martial arts that uses your opponent's energy and leverage against them. We can do the same thing with negativity. We can use negativity in a sense as leverage. However, there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. I go into detail in the blog on how to use it correctly. So you want to make sure at least you have the foundation before you just kind of take the things I say from the episode here and just say, yeah, Michael said to do this. Well, you have to have a good foundation, people. For example, if you want to be a runner, right? Let's say you want to be a 5K runner. If you have never ran in your life, you don't have a foundation to be a 5K runner. I'm not saying that you can't do the 5K, but it's going to be challenging. You're better off training to be able to do 5Ks and then do a 5K and then do a 10K and then do a 24-hour race or a Tough Mudder or whatever it be. We gradually get better. So initially, we might want to stay in the aspect of being positive because positive is going to keep us going. It's going to keep us in the fight. But then we can also leverage negativity to our benefit. You can only do this if you have a strong mindset. To be honest, this should maybe even be a TUS series, because if you can't leverage negativity with a strong mindset, then your mindset's not strong enough yet. All right. But this right here is going to be key, essential, things that you need to understand, because negativity is more powerful than positivity. Yes, as I just said, negativity has more power than being positive. If we look at the weight, right? So pretend you have a scale, and one of those scales where it's like not like a weight scale, but there's like a thing on one side and a thing on another side. So I forget what it's called, but it's like a balance scale. That scale is similar to what we're going to be talking about today. Do you know how many positives is going to equal one negative? Typically, it's 3. Depending on you, it's going to be upwards to 7. We talked about this already in the podcast. 3 to 7 positivities is going to equal 1 negativity. Now, what is negativity? Negativity is going to be anything that's going to be focusing your mind on bad, on things that are maybe harmful to you, to others. There is going to be some dismay, some bad speech, self-talk going on in your mind. It can come from an action from another individual. So think of thoughts, feelings, and actions that they're not in alignment with things that make you feel good and happy. Okay, negativity. The issue is that we run away from things that are negative that are actually good. For example, running on the treadmill, if you are trying to lose some weight. I'm not saying that running on the treadmill is the best way for you to lose weight. I mean, you're actually better off going and doing some weights first. There's a whole bunch to fitness than, just what people say. But I'm just giving the example of running on the treadmill, because running on the treadmill, if you are overweight or you're not in shape, does not feel good, right? You're going to feel like, oh, my heart's going to come up, or you might feel nauseous. You're getting a lot of negativity going on in your body and your mind. The brain is saying, hey, something's going on. The sirens are going off, right? The triggers are there. What do? Do we ignore them? Or do we say, oh, the alarm's going off. Let me pay attention. Now, I'm not saying that if you're in a burning building, the alarm's going off. You say, well, the alarm's going off, the negativity. Well, everything's going to be okay, right? We're not being gullible or anything. There is a fine line when it comes to the positive side of negativity, but we need to learn how to leverage it. There are certain individuals, I already said David Goggins was an individual who was able to leverage negativity in a way that makes him understand, hey, I can do this. My weaker self is trying to get me to be weak and to take it easy. I don't want that for myself. The mind is more powerful. But sometimes the mind, the forefront mind, is going to be weak. When we give ourselves an idea, let's say an idea to be great, to be happy, to be fulfilled, how much work is necessary in order to get that? How many people are going to tell you that you can't do it, or that are going to belittle you, or maybe yell at you, or maybe stop you, or try to stop you? Probably a good amount, because people don't like seeing other people do well or better than them. Think about it. People don't criticize people who are doing less than them. And if they do, it's a very small minority of people, maybe at most 5%. So that means 95% of people are only going after people who are doing better than them. The celebrities, the politicians, the coaches, whatever, right? Whoever is doing better. Oh, you think you're so high and mighty. You think you're so great, but you are not having a good marriage, or you are out of shape, or we're attacking the individual. But what would happen if we say, you know what? I'm going to make some adjustments. I'm going to make some changes to what I take in when someone gives me a negativity. Because I can say, you know what? Someone's giving me a negativity. I'm going to use this as fuel for the fire. I'm not going to just throw it away and say, well, I'm rubber and you're glue. All right. That might happen when we're kids. But today, as adults, why not use what we're given? They say in life, if life gives you lemonade, you make lemonade. But if they give you negativity, you run and cry. So why are we so afraid of the hard things in life, of the moments when we might not feel our best and our brightest? It happens at a very young age. Typically, negativity is going to start in the home, then it moves on to school, then it moves on to the workplace, and then it becomes a cycle that you repeat. Very true. How many times is a child told no? Thousands of times, if not hundreds of thousands of times in their life. Why? Because we're trying to teach them? Because maybe we're fed up with their nonsense of trying to climb on the counter where all the knives are? I don't know. There could be a lot of things going on. But what about patience? What about an understanding that they're living life for the first time? And yes, it is an inconvenience. We don't want them to jump in the puddle. We don't want them to get hurt where now we have to spend our hard-earned cash on hospital bills or whatever it be, because we want them to be safe. So you know what we do instead? We say, take it easy. We say, you know what? Don't go outside. Here's an iPad. Turn on a movie, okay? I'm too busy. Distract yourself. And we wonder why our youth is struggling. Just the other month, it was probably a couple of months now, I heard some tragic news. And the tragic news was there was a young boy, I believe he was 10 or 11, and he was being made fun of for his smile. He had, like, I guess, crooked teeth and things along those lines. Nothing braces couldn't fix. And I guess maybe the way he spoke or his glasses or something along those lines. And he was being bullied. Bullying is an issue where we can't just say the negativity of being bullied is a good thing. Because this young man had ended his life because of what everyone else was saying. He did not know that there was another alternative. The easiest alternative was not to think about it, was not to feel good, was not to overcome this adversity, this negativity. Because if he had the tools at his disposal, a resource, a mentor, someone, right? He had parents that loved him, of course. Sometimes it can be difficult to talk to someone about what's going on in your life. We feel, especially when we're young, that we're going in this fight by ourselves. Schools do not teach you how to work together for the most part. Most of it is going to be you're in this fight alone, figure it out by yourself. We sit at our desk by ourselves. We take our tests by ourselves. This is an issue. And so now this battle that this young man was fighting, he said, I had to fight it by myself. And he said I couldn't win when he had the power to win, when he could make some adjustments in his life. We lost one. I've spoken to people, I have clients who have been bullied in their life. One of the common things they tell me is that they're happy they got bullied. And I was always set back in the beginning when I would hear this. I'm like, why were you happy you were bullied? They said that they went through that adversity, that challenge, and it made them better. And I said, I can see that. I can see that. But we don't necessarily need something from an outside source coming to us. Bullying is from someone else. Someone else is harassing you. There's a difference between the negativity from someone else and the negativity that we can give ourselves. Because the negativity that someone gives me, it has to go through a lot of filters, a lot more filters than if I just was negative to myself. The negativity from myself can be bad too, but there's a lot less work because I'm not hearing all of the other voices, all the other things that are going in my mind. Oh, peer acceptance. Oh, I have to fit in the crowd. Again, I have to, walk with people. Otherwise, I'm going to be outcasted. Versus ourselves, we can just toss things in a corner, which most people do. It is easy to say, you know what? I'm going to toss this away. I'm not going to deal with it right now. What would happen if we got something that we didn't like, a moment? We said, this negativity, I'm going to work with it. I'm going to mold it. And I'm going to create something with it. I'm going to turn this into positive. One of the things that David Goggins says when he's running or he doesn't want to run, he goes, don't be a little bitch. I know that's very vulgar, but that's what he tells himself. And you might think that this guy is like crazy. And I mean, if we compare it to the regular person, right? The things he do is outlandish. But he has understood something about his body and his mind. Is that if he does not have control over it, the world will have control over it. Complacency, comfort will take over. What would happen if he just kind of followed nonchalantly in life? He wouldn't be David Goggins, number one. Of course, he would still have a name, right? But he wouldn't be the man that everyone knows and understands. Because if you ever spoke to David, the kindest, sweetest guy, but then he has this fire, he has this switch that he will want to push you. He's not afraid to be blunt because he knows he's doing it from a good place in his heart. He's being positive, even though you might construe it as negative. I remember one time he was just doing a speech of, just kind of speaking to people. And a guy, he got the mic and he says, hey, David, my wife's cheating on me, etc., etc. What should I do? David just asked a couple of questions. He's like, are you being a good father? Are you doing what you need to do as a man, as a husband, to the best of your capabilities? Guess what? Yeah, so he's like, well, F her. right? That was the positive, even though the negative moment of the divorce, of everything going on, he says, fight through it. Come out on the other side better. Because we can easily say this negative situation is something that we don't want to deal with. And we don't. We run away. Most people will. But we can use that moment to be better. Maybe he failed his first marriage. Maybe he gets a second marriage. Maybe he doesn't want to be married anymore, but he still wants to be a father. We can find the positive within the negative moments. I'm not advocating for you to be pessimistic all of a sudden. Oh, Mike says, I gotta be negative now. Okay, well, I'm gonna go punch someone in the face. I'm gonna tell someone that they're stupid. And I'm gonna go yell at the cashier. And I'm not gonna tip my waiter. And I'm gonna write a note in the tip area saying, be a better person. Or make sure you smile. Right? This is not helpful. But then at the same time, we can learn from that negativity from other people that they do it just because they're bitter people. If I was that server and I got a tip to smile, I would say, you know what? I'm going to use this as momentum. I'm going to use this negative moment not to get back at them, not to hate on my other guests, not to allow to ruin my day, even though I understand it will ruin your day, maybe. You're going to have that negative, weight on your shoulders and your mind. It's going to be there. We understand. We work with it, right? It's not something that we just toss away. We work with it. We learn to manage it. And then we say what we want to say. And typically is we go through that negative thing. Maybe we're bullied. Maybe our boss yells at us. Maybe a customer yells at us. And we say to ourselves, I'm not going to put myself in this situation again. Sometimes it's going to be unavoidable, especially if you're in a service-based business. I know here at Revan Concepts, we have a system when we're going through our coaching clients and things along those lines. We don't take everybody. The reason we don't take everybody is because not everyone's a good fit. I don't want to be your coach if I'm not going to be able to help you. Not because I can't help you, but because there's going to be roadblocks that the client, that you, or that someone will have, that they have to get over in order to see results. I'm all about helping people who want to be helped, but the people who are coming in with the negativity and the anger and the angst and all of the emotions that don't benefit them or benefit me, I don't work with them. That's flexibility on my end. I can use that negative that they have and I can try to work it out. But like I said, my job is not to turn negative people into positive people. My job is to help facilitate your growth. Because if I was helping you, I might yell at you, right? Yes, I have yelled at clients. And it's because they needed to realize what they were doing. When's the last time someone yelled at you in a positive way? Full of love and care. I remember my basketball coach in elementary school. That guy would yell at us. He would make us run until we couldn't run anymore. And he did it with love. There was no hate in that man's body. He did it because he cared. All of my coaches going forward, I was lucky. Typically coaches, they want to do good. They want to see their players succeed and excel. And even if they are the bad guy, they're portrayed as the bad person, doesn't matter. Because all those players respect that coach. Why? That coach just made you run 50 miles in the rain. That coach just made you do 1,000 push-ups. That coach just made you miss maybe a special event or something. For what? For a game, for the glory, for an opportunity, for a bit of understanding of life. I mean, there are many lessons a coach can teach you. That's why you find the right coach. What lessons do you need in life? Because we can look at the negativity of life. We can look at the positivity of life. And we can say, well, I only want the positive. Okay, great. But then everything that you're doing is negative maybe. So do you want it or do you not want it? Sometimes people have a hard time breaking through. Like I said, the mind is naturally involved and attracted to negativity. So if we know that's going to be the attraction, we already know what we have to do. We have to leverage those negativities. And instead of that scale being 3 positives to 1 negative, why not say that negative is going to be our positives? Because if we have 3 negativities, that's essentially 9 positivity moments. We have to be able to turn that around. Not everyone can. It's a mindset thing. In closing, the positive side of negativity is the most recent blog that we have. If you're listening to this episode on the release date, of course, if you come back on Monday or any other Monday after, you're going to have different blogs, but you can easily type this in the search window, the positive side of negativity, or you can click the link in the description box below and learn more about how you can use negativity, use the obstacles in life to make you a better person. It is a mindset thing, because I can talk about positive all day long, but if I cannot teach you about negativity and how to use those moments of struggle, of obstacle, of angst, of bad feeling, then positive is never going to shine through. So I encourage everyone, a wonderful read, The Positive Side of Negativity. When we are all said and done, I would like for you to be more positive than negative. I don't want you necessarily to say, well, I'm going to start to look for negatives in my life and I'm going to use them as propellant for me to be positive. For example, my state of being is always typically calm and positive. All right. If someone says something to me or something bad, I'm not even taking it all the way to the extreme. Oh, this person hurt me. Oh, this person is doing wrong by me. I mean, heck, I could care less. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world where you can be a different person and have different views and opinions, and that can put you in a certain box. But I'm not trying to put anyone in a box. You can be wherever you want. You can come with any political background, any heritage, any belief, whatever it be. If you want to change and we can help facilitate that change, then let's get to work. That's what we're about. We are only aiming at 25% of the world population, right? That's only, 2 billion people around there right now? That is the goal. What is going to happen to the other 6 billion people, they can figure it out, maybe, or they can do whatever they want to do. I'm not here to change everyone. I'm just here to create an impact. The impact begins with you. Sometimes you're going to get bad news in your day. We have to deal with that. We go through it. We deal with the emotions. But then we look at the good things. We talked about the yin and the yang. This is positive and negative, the good and the bad, the same thing. We cannot have one without the other. It's very similar to how we can't have light without darkness. We need the two. So we have to learn to coexist with them, in a sense. And not to be openly and, forcefully negative to people. Like, I'm not going to go around and start, pushing people and mistreating people, right? That's not me. That's not my character. If someone does that, if someone has road rage and things along those lines, again, line in the sand, another wonderful blog and another wonderful podcast episode. We'll learn when we need to take action. There's a difference. But our world's full of negativity. Our brain is naturally attracted to negative. We need to know how to manage it. And if you're struggling and you need help with any of this management, reach out to us, reverendconcepts.com. We'll be more than happy to help you on that journey to a more powerful and, of course, positive you. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I'll see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.